little bit tonight for Walt Weiss. Trevor Story's going to lead things off this evening, leading baseball with 13 extra base hits. Here's the Southwest batting order tonight. So Story first, and everybody kind of slides up. Cargo, who hit a number of times in the 2-hole last year, is there tonight. Nolan Arenado will bat third. Gerardo Parra cleanup. Ryan Rayburn, Ben Paulson, Tony Walters. Walt likes to do this when Tyler Chatwood's on the mound. He'll bat him eighth, and then DJ will bat ninth. And on the mound, Kenta Maeda, who had a terrific career for 8 years in Japan. And he's 2-0 with an 0.47 in 3 starts so far in the big leagues, giving up just 1 run. So he has made quite the impression.
His impression has been felt, and everybody in Japan is probably watching this game. Pitches fastball, slider, changeup, curveball, 50-50. He's not going to use the fastball a lot, but when he does use it, hitters are only hitting 50, Drew. 50 off of his fastball.
Like at 5-0?
.050. That's the batting average against the fastball.
Well, that's really good.
It's not going to overpower you. He'll pitch to both sides of the plate.
We were talking to A.J. Ellis earlier about Maeda, and he's caught him about 7 times now, including spring training. He will pitch backwards at times, and he has a great feel for pitching. And I thought A.J. Ellis made a neat point about him. He said he knows how to win. And some guys have great stuff, Spilly, but don't know how to win. He knows how to win. Here's the 1-1 on Story. 2-1. Now, you heard a lot about him, and you actually faced him when you were in Japan.
I did. I faced him one time in spring training, and Japanese pitchers in general like to pitch backwards. They have great command of their secondary pitches, their changeups, their forkballs, their curveballs. And their mechanics, even though they're not throwing 90 to 95 miles an hour, they do some things that are very different. They have longer strides. Think of Tim Lincecum, how long of a stride he has. If we start looking into the advanced metrics of the perceived velocity, I guarantee you the 92 that Maeda can run it up to looks like 95.
Not a big guy, 6'1", about 175 pounds or so. Very good athlete. In fact, he has a home run already on the offensive side of things. Born in Osaka. Lives in Hiroshima. 97 wins with the Hiroshima Carp. He's a 2-time winner of the Sawamura Award, right?
Yeah, I'll help you with those.
Thank you. I'm going to need help. That's emblematic of the best pitcher in the Japanese big leagues, which is the equivalent of winning a Cy Young Award. Here's Story going again. Remember that 12-pitch at bat he had last night in his battles with Scott Kazmir.
It's amazing when you look at Maeda's career in Japan. 1,500 innings pitched. 1,200 strikeouts, only 1,263 hits. 300 hits less than innings pitched.
And he got him to chase. 1 out.
Well, Japanese pitchers, they do a lot of things different, and a lot of them are very oriented in being able to set up how they pitch and throw. You see Maeda on the right, he knows exactly where his strike length is. I watched a lot of Japanese players do that. It's 7 steps that they've counted out. Chatty will just get on the rubber and throw. It's a feel for them. The Japanese pitchers know exactly where they're going to stride. The other point behind that, if I asked an American player to stride out, go foot to foot, it would be about 6 steps. For a Japanese player, it's about 7. So we're talking extended. They're getting a longer stride length every time they pitch.
Cargo thought that pitch was up. Called a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Did you find facing a guy that you've never seen before and nobody else has ever seen? You know, you go to video, there's 3 ball games this year to look at. How helpful was the video versus actually getting in there?
Video gives you only so much information. The information you get is standing in the box and hitting, or listening to another player. Another player will tell you, hey, when you're up there, I know it says 90 miles an hour, but gear up like it's 92. Gear up like it's 95.
1-2. And he gets cargo.
Maeda's already showing command of the off-speed pitches. Fastball's up in the zone. This is a changeup down in the zone. You can see on the Subaru Supermo, pitch just falls off the table, and that's part of pitching backwards. You talk about what it means. It means in fastball counts, you're throwing off-speed pitches. And in off-speed pitches, you're throwing fastballs. Matt Merton has been very successful in Japan. And he told me when he faces Japanese pitchers, he sits off speed until he gets to 2 strikes, and then he looks for a fastball.
Interesting. Opposite of what you would think. Oh, and 1 on Nolan, and that misses. 1-1. Well, Nolan did his thing last night, helping get the Rockies back in the ballgame. Really not a bad pitch by Kazmir. Cutter down and in, knee high. He hit it about 430. This ball's popped up. Gonzalez will have it. A 1-2-3 beginning for Maeda. 1-0 LA. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Bank of the West. For a personal approach to banking, go West. Bank of the West. Your hometown Toyota stores. Toyota, let's go places. By Echo Outdoor Power Equipment. And by Southwest Airlines, transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. We go to the bottom of the second. Drew Goodman, Ryan Spilborghs, and Mark Stout. 3-0 LA. Second inning of work for Kenta Maeda. It'll be Gerardo Parra. 1-2-3 first for Maeda. A couple of strikeouts to boot. And this ball is hit right at Adrian Gonzalez. Got a friendly hop, 1 out.
Coming into today's game, hitters were hitting 176 leading off the inning off Maeda. First time through the lineup, hitters are hitting 125 off him through the lineup. Very efficient.
Ryan Rayburn at the plate with a 1 out. What a big 2-run home run he hit yesterday. He just strikes me in conversations and how he goes about things as an old-fashioned see it and hit it guy. You know what I mean? And I'm not worried about, you know, what does he throw? All right, that's great. You know, see it and hit it. Keeps the approach pretty simple. Would you concur with that?
Oh, I totally concur. See it, hit it. You miss inside, he takes you outside. It's a nice swing right there by Ryan Rayburn. Absolutely right. Manny Ramirez. Hey, brother, you're thinking too much. See it and hit it.
Pretty good pitch. And a little slider, and he gets the strikeout. 3 of the first 5 have struck out against Maeda. We have not glanced at the Dodgers defensively. Here's a quick look. Kike Hernandez in left. He's played 6 different positions in his career. Jock Peterson in center. Yasiel Puig in right. Kendrick, normally a second baseman, he's at third. Seager, Utley, Adrian Gonzalez, A.J. Ellis behind the plate. 2 outs, Ben Paulson at the plate. You know, the arms high overhead looks like a lot of pitchers from the Far East, but there's not that sudden pause in the middle, which you saw quite a bit of when you were playing over there, I imagine.
Yeah, they have a pause. One of my favorite things to pay attention to when I'm watching a Japanese pitcher, they rarely shake off. That's a normal pitching mechanics, and a lot of times they pause right between there. regather their balance, and then come after you.
How tough is it to get your foot down, know when to lift, whatever you are, toe tap? How difficult is it to pull back, to get the timing of that?
My leg kick ended up being in the air a lot longer in Japan. I started it right about when he lifted his leg and had to learn to hold it. Otherwise, I was in between the entire time.
Is it a slider league?
It is a slider league, off-speed pitch league. You have to be able to hit an off-speed pitch, but then you can't miss fastball.
Outside 3-2. Did you find from a control standpoint that more of the pitchers over there threw with great control, not necessarily great velocity?
Yes, but it's the off-speed pitches that they control so well. They can throw it in this count as well. 3-2.
And he did. But he missed with the curveball. So the Rockies have their first base runner, a 2-out walk to Paulson. And that'll bring up Tony Walters. Rockies fans, join in on the conversation this year. Do it all season long. Send us your comments, photos to your favorite social media platform. And make sure you include the hashtag ToyotaTalk. We'll show as many as we can throughout the evening. Walters with 2 outs. Tony drove in a run last night.
Maeda is one of 8 Japanese-born players to play for the Dodgers. Hideo Nomo, Kazushi, former teammate of mine, he's great. Masao Okita, Noriko Nakamura, Dave Roberts, Takashi Saito. That's a great closer the Dodgers had. Think of the Todd Helton walk-off home run.
Well,
I
always point out before that at bat by Holiday is late in the year. Holiday had a base hit to right. That was the first hit the Rockies had gotten off Saito all year. And he faced him a bunch. Faced you guys a bunch.
He was tough. Another player on that team, Hiroki Kuroda. Great starter. And now Kenta Maeda.
Three 3-0 LA, bottom of the second. Ellis off the plate away. That's covered out there by Walters.
You're gonna like this. In Japan, it's funny, the best pitchers in Japan, they wear low numbers, kind of like quarterbacks. So 11, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Those are all good pitcher numbers. See Kenta with the 18.
Unlike what we typically see here. This ball on the ground is short. And Seager throws across. Rockies done in their half of the second. Dodgers up 3-0.
Dodgers up 3. There's Yasiel Puig. His throw last night, pretty much the talk of baseball. He gunned down Trevor Story. And you heard Ryan Spilborg say that he talked to Cargo last night. Cargo said, I could throw it that far. My arm might hurt. I asked him a little bit more about that play that Puig threw out Story on.
To be honest, I was like, what is he doing? I mean, that is a reckless throw or play or whatever you want to call it. You know, everybody just used to hit make a throw to the cutoff man and make sure that, you know, you don't overthrow anybody. But, you know, it looks good when you throw somebody out, but it's a reckless play.
So there's Puig making the catch for the first time on Chatwood. What do you think, Spilly? Hit the cutoff? You were talking about it earlier to me. He calls it reckless.
Yeah, you know what? In the situation with Trevor Story, there's nobody on base. Trevor hits the ball off the wall. You don't need, there's no trail runner. So I had no problem with him unleashing fury from the outfield wall all the way to third base. And it was actually pretty cool to watch. I mean, Cargo's right though. Later on in the game, there was a play down the right field line in foul territory where Brandon Barnes scored, he never set his feet, never got behind the baseball.
I asked Puig about that today.
What did he say?
He said that it was a different play because I couldn't get around. So he explained it. He felt like he couldn't get around the baseball in time to set his feet to make the kind of throw he wanted to.
Not buying it.
TJ with a 1-1 count. He fouls it off.
Especially at Coors Field, outfielders have to hit the cutoff game. You never want to allow a base runner to take an extra base.
No, but you listen. You've only done infield, outfield a million times or so in your career. There is where the ball has to be cuttable, and then there's certain situations
you can unleash it,
where you can unleash it. You know, sack fly situations. Swung on and missed. 2 outs. Now Guillen's throw, if you want to compare the two. Look at this from the warning track, basically. Got it, no problem. Now this ball was more, if it's possible, was more on the line.
Maybe Perez was not a slow runner.
No.
Both are great throws. Because I saw it in person, I like Puig's better.
I said it last night, I'll stick to it. Of throws I've seen in person, that is at the top of the charts. Story struck out his first time. Second time through for the Rockies. This is huge. The adjustments, the feel now for Maeda after never seeing him before.
Well, second time through the lineup, teams are hitting 200. Big increase over the 125. But Maeda so far perfect. 10 out of 10 first pitch strikes.
He's allowed 1 base runner, a 2-out walk to Paulson on a 3-2 pitch last inning.
That was pitch number 40 for Maeda. Tyler Chatwood threw the same, really one more out, 75 pitches. 35 pitches more.
Looking to use Billy.
Nope. Looking at you.
She's looking at her the former Rocky, favorite Rocky from a bygone era.
What do you think she said right there? I don't see him. Brad Hobbs not here.
Broken bat roller to Seager. And Maeda with another 1-2-3 inning. Rockies down 3-0. We're off to the 4th at Coors Field on a Saturday night.
Dodgers, Cargo leads off. There's Nolan Arenado. He hits second. I want to show you Nolan's April of last year compared to this year. Now, last year, the guy ends up with 42 home runs and 140 RBIs. This is through 16 games last April to this April. His production is already way up. In fact, last April, 3 homers and 13 RBIs total. You see where he is. And we know what he did as the season went on. So he is off to a great start. Drew and Ryan, and I know the fans know that.
Well, you go back to last year, the start of last year, Nolan has driven in 9 more runs than anybody else in baseball. Rockies trying to figure out Kenta Maeda. And Cargo lines it, but it's right at the short fielder, Howie Kendrick, who's in a familiar spot. You have to write down L5, but it was really far from a conventional third base spot. Since the start of 2015, Nolan, Bryce Harper, Mike Trout, you compare the numbers. And for those that are unaware, back east perhaps, Nolan every bit in the conversation for, you know, top 2, 3, 4 players in baseball. And then you couple it with the ridiculous defense he brings every night.
Just looking at the stats between this year and last year, if you're looking at advanced metrics.
This ball's in the air to right. 2 outs.
Nolan has been so good this year at swinging at pitches inside the strike zone. Last year he swung at 54% of the pitches. This year 46% of the pitches. He's only chasing 26% of the pitches versus 37 last year. And it all comes down to a whiff rate that's only 10%. There's a reason why he has more homers than strikeouts. He's getting better before our eyes.
He is without question. Gerardo Parra against Maeda. 12 batters Maeda's faced. 12 first pitch strikes make it 13. And the game's so much easier from a pitching standpoint if it's 0-1 versus 1-up.
Well, yeah, I love that you said that. 8 of 20 first pitch strikes out for Chatwood and 8 of 23 ball counts. That first pitch is so important to a starting pitcher, or to any pitcher.
But it's his ability to throw a first pitch strike with a variety of pitches. You say, well, okay, why don't you sit on the fastball and smoke that first pitch fastball? It's not always a first pitch fastball.
Go Matt Burton style.
That's what
sit off speed.
Yeah, A.J. Ellis said the thing that's been impressive about him is that he really commands his off-speed pitch as well. This is a routine play. I mean, these are quick, short innings. The most difficult thing the Dodgers are doing from an exercise standpoint is running out to their spot. They're not there very long. 3-0 LA. It's nothing as we go to the bottom of the 5th. Fans, if the Rockies score 7 or more runs, make sure you go to your participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 to receive your Rockies taco special. Live Mas at Taco Bell. Ryan Rayburn, strikeout victim his first time, facing Kenta Maeda, who has thrown a first pitch strike to every hitter he has faced until there. It's turning.
First pitch fastball hitter, so he's going to throw an off-speed pitch right there, and that's part of what the Japanese players are going to do. They're going to expand the strike zone, and then he follows it up with another off-speed pitch for a strike. Keeps you honest.
The Dodgers, the early returns on Maeda have been outstanding. 0.47 ERA coming in. Only starting pitcher in baseball, the better ERA. Jordan Zimmerman, who went from Washington to Detroit. His first 3 starts didn't give up a run for the Tigers. The Dodgers, I thought, were conspicuous by their inactivity in the offseason when it came to big free agents. Of course, they lost Zach Greinke, and that's strike 3. So there's pitching backwards. All of a sudden, as you said, Matt Burton, he'd be looking for the fastball there. The fastball showed up. Ryan Rayburn was probably thinking off speed, 1 out. But the Dodgers had a lot of confidence that this young man would work out, 28-year-old Kenta Maeda, and they didn't pursue even after they lost Greinke. They didn't pursue Johnny Cueto. They didn't seem to pursue Jeff Samardzija. I think there's also the assumption, Spilly, that if the Dodgers pursue somebody, they're going to land them because they have the deepest pockets in the sport.
Good scouting by the Dodgers to go out and see a Kenta Maeda pitching in the World Baseball Classic. I think a lot of eyes were shown on, were able to see Maeda and see him against major league hitters. A couple of years ago, he pitched in San Francisco at AT&T Ballpark. He's got great stuff. I mean, it's not overpowering, but he knows how to pitch. It's evident just watching this. I think what's interesting, you talk about Dodgers with the deep pockets. How much did the New York Yankees spend on free agents this winter?
A changing of philosophy in New York the last couple of years with Brian Cashman, and the Dodgers this past offseason. Now they wanted Greinke back. He evidently got offered more money in Arizona. 3-2 on Paulson. He's the only one to reach tonight for the Rockies. He walked on a 3-2 pitch in the second. Maeda with 6 strikeouts.
3-1 fastball. You know the fastball is coming. Maeda's able to blow it right past Ben Paulson. 3-2, you have no idea what he's going to throw because he will throw any pitch at any count in any location. That's getting the Rockies hitters off the fastball, is able to throw another 3-2 fastball right by Ben Paulson.
I have Tony Walters breaking it up right here.
Here we go. Sit off speed.
Fastball wide at 87.
You talk about Jordan Zimmerman has not given up a run. The only run off Maeda, a Joe Panic home run. That's it. Look at that number. 0 for 14 with runners in scoring position off Maeda. The Rockies haven't even seen second base.
This ball's well hit left field, and it is caught by Hernandez. What a catch! Maeda robs Tony Walters and keeps the no-hitter intact. That almost popped out of his glove when he went down.
We're about to get a lot of eyes watching this baseball game at Coors Field if Maeda keeps pitching like this and the Dodgers defense makes these types of plays.
He had to recatch it on the way down.
What a play by Kike.
3-0 LA. Colorado Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. Well, the Rockies trying to figure out Kenta Maeda. He's allowed one base runner. It was a walk in the second of Paulson. 5 innings of no-hit baseball, and Christian Adames in the 8th spot will pinch hit for Christian Bergman. And that pitch is out of the zone, 1-0. He hasn't had a 2-0 count. I'm positive of that yet. I mean, virtually every count's been 0-1. The last couple innings he's had a couple of 1-0 counts, but he's followed it up with a strike every time.
Well, just as savvy, you have a pinch hitter in Christian Adames in a 1-0 count, and he throws a 70-mile-an-hour curveball to a guy coming off the bench hunting fastball. Then he follows it up with the 1-1 fastball right under his fist, and Adames has no chance to get the bat head out.
One, two, and you can see A.J. Ellis wanted the fastball up, and he hit the target. It was one of those ones that's 3 feet over the guy's head. It's easy to decipher. It was mask high, which is right where Ellis wanted it. Good job by Adames not swinging at it. And he went back down low with the slider, and he has his 7th strikeout. Well, Spilly, you played over in Japan. What are the notable differences?
143 game schedule. It ends up you have a mandatory off day on Mondays. They're great. There's only 2 divisions, the Central and Pacific. I played in the Central. There's always a post-game meeting. That was my favorite part. After every game, you'd huddle up, the first base coach, the infield coach, the outfield coach, the manager, and you debrief. You go over everything and talk about the game. And then the 2 batting cages during batting practice. I'll show you a picture in a second. You're thinking to yourself at home, 2 batting cages on a field. Yep, side by side. On the left side, you have a right-handed pitcher. On the left side, a left-handed pitcher. There's groups of 4. So 2 hitters on one side, 2 hitters on the other. It'd be 15 minutes.
Now, would it be the right-handed hitters on one side and the left?
It'd be whoever.
Okay.
They split them up. And then after 7 minutes, you switch sides. So the guys on the left side facing the righty get to face the left-handed pitcher. And they'll throw curveballs, change-ups.
Oh,
you name
really?
It.
It's not it's not hero BP.
No, it is very efficient.
2 strikes on LeMahieu. 1 and 2.
I loved it. In the minor leagues, you don't have 2 pitching BP throwers, and we travel with pitchers, BP pitchers. They're on the team. You have about 8 of them.
Really?
Yes. Minor leagues, you use a curveball machine on the right side.
Line drive, base hit center field. LeMahieu breaks it up with 1 out in the 6th inning. Now, about the business of putting some runs on the board. Rockies down 4-0.
Well, on the 69th pitch with the no-hitter going, Maeda leaves a slider out over the plate that DJ's able to hit. Way too much part of the plate. DJ, knowing that nice compact swing that he has, is not going to be afraid to get beat by the fastball. Catches Maeda and singles one to center field. Maeda with the bat, the only bad pitch. He's a competitor. He wants a no-hitter.
Trevor Story 0 for 2, a strikeout and a ground ball to short. First time this year that he's hit anywhere in the lineup but the 2-hole. Last year at New Britain, he had 2 games in the leadoff spot. Never hit the leadoff spot once he moved to Albuquerque. A little earlier in his minor league career, he hit in the leadoff spot some, 16 times in 2013 in Modesto, 43 times in Asheville in 2012. This one's down the line and out of play. There are a number of analytic folks who believe if you have a truly elite hitter, take Mike Trout, best hitter without question on the Angels, then you hit him leadoff because over the course of the season they'll get X number of more at bats, and therefore, yeah, in the top of the first inning or bottom of the first inning, he's not going to be able to drive anybody in but himself. But over the course of the season, he's getting more at bats, and therefore your best hitter is coming up more. And doesn't that make sense?
I totally agree with that. I look at the top 2 spots in the lineup as being able to put your top 2 hitters in there. It only makes sense. Those 2 guys are going to get more at bats over the course of the year than anybody else.
Well, think about what Walt did last year. There was quite a few times in the first half of the year where he hit Cargo second and he hit Tulo third. Figuring, okay, I'm going to get these guys as many at bats as possible. And the Rockies have a really good leadoff guy that you want to swing the bat at, Charlie Blackmon. This has been done tonight for probably multiple reasons, but in the absence of Charlie, you do try to find that guy. And DJ is a guy that can hit up there. He's been scuffling a little bit lately. Does have the base hit finally here to break up the no-no, but so everybody slid up in the lineup tonight. Story, you know, for a guy that has struck out around 40% of the time, he's had some great battles at the plate where he's wasting pitchers' pitches.
He has been wasting a lot of pitchers' pitches, and that's a good thing. And you talk about the growth of players at the major league level. We're talking about Nolan getting better, John Gray taking a step forward last night. But you mentioned not a lot of production out of the leadoff spot. 176 batting average, 208 on-base percentage, and a 517 OPS combined out of the leadoff spot for the Rockies this year.
That's a good take, 2-2. And that'll change dramatically because Charlie hitting some hard luck the first 10 days of the season.
And that's between Charlie and DJ at the top of the lineup. So it's not just Charlie. I mean, both guys, but not a lot of production out of the leadoff spot. And with Cargo and Nolan hitting the way they are, you'd like to see some guys get on base.
And that's going to drop into right field. LeMahieu will shut it down at second. And the Rockies have back-to-back hits in the 6th. With Cargo coming up, who has one of the harder hit balls of the night, though it was caught. That was in his last at-bat when he lined out.
Trevor Story grinding this at bat out on the Subaru Supermo. A slider off the plate, a pitch he hadn't been handling very well. Sometimes it's not how hard you hit it, it's where you hit it. Dumps it right in front of Yasiel Puig. Great at bat, great piece of hitting. It's interesting. I was talking with Nomar Garciaparra and Oral Hershiser, and we were talking about how deep the Dodgers outfield plays, and how with the pitcher like Maeda, who gets a lot of weak contact, they were asking me, hey, how shallow can you have the outfielders come up? And I told him he can get them as far as you want. You can move them all the way in here if you wanted to.
Third look for Cargo at Maeda. Strikeout and a line drive to the right side. There's only two on that right side right now with the two base runners on. And that pitch is low. Howie Kendrick is in a pretty conventional third base spot. Corey Seager is up the middle somewhat. This year, hitters are 0 for 14 with runners in scoring position against Maeda. Boy, he got a pitch to hit there. Cargo was on it. Ball and a strike. That was center cut. Cargo came into the ball game among the top 8 hitting in the National League at .344. That ball is driven back.
Trojan with the catch. Or maybe the guy in front of him. He's not getting the high five, so assuming it's someone else.
It's where you don't know what to look for with Maeda. It's 1 and 2. Back up the middle. Does it have eyes? It's going to be a hit. It'll load the bases and bring the tying run to the plate in one Nolan Arenado. 3 straight singles. The first 3 hits for the Rockies tonight. And with 1 out in the 6th, the bases are drunk for Arenado.
Still not a ball hit hard off Kenta Maeda. The ball just seems to find a hole when you have a shift like they have. Cargo putting the ball in play. Seager giving chase, Chase giving chase, and they run into each other. And luckily for Maeda, the ball stays on the infield, or it'd be a run scored. It'd be only the 2nd run he had given up all season long. Watch on the super mode, them both crashing feet to feet. Now Maeda has his hands full with Nolan coming to the plate. 3rd time through the lineup for Maeda. Hitters now start to hit a .316 batting average.
Well, just the guy you want up. There's a crowd of more than 42,000 in the house tonight. And I know there's some Dodger fans here, but now's the time for Rockies fans to get involved. One swing, they can turn this thing around. Down 4-0. John Peterson is extremely deep, shaded about 20 yards to left center field.
They're too deep. You should be playing right about here with not that shallow, but about that shallow. I know it's Nolan and it's an RBI situation, but most teams outfield, and Drew, you've seen more games than anybody here. More balls fall in front of the outfielders than balls get hit over their head, unless it's a home run.
But the ball right now over your head, Spilly's going to score 3. The ball in front
scores
1 or 2, probably 2, certainly with Story at second base, you would think.
But a ball hit over the outfielder's head right now is a ball hit over your head no matter what.
Maeda, fastball in, breaking ball, and it's 0-2.
Maeda's throwing backwards again to Nolan Arenado. This time with the slow curveball. He's able to freeze Nolan. Nolan has been handling the off-speed pitch this season very, very well. .423 batting average this season against off-speed pitches. An .885 slugging percentage.
1-2.
Oral Hershiser mentioned that Maeda has another gear, not in his fastball, but in his slider. He can throw the soft one, and then he can really crank one up and get a lot more bite. We've seen that already, but this is a situation where I'd expect to see a couple hard sliders.
1-2, and it's popped up. Infield fly rule has been invoked, 2 outs. We went with the fastball. And it'll be left to Gerardo Parra. Ground ball to first and a ground ball to short tonight for Parra. This is where pitchers earn their money. When there's traffic, trying to protect the lead. And that's what A.J. Ellis was talking about earlier in the evening when he said he knows how to win. Hopefully, this is one where we get the 2-out knock, and the Rockies have been better than anybody in baseball so far, hitting with 2 outs this year. .317 average. Parra loops it down the left field line, but it's foul. It's a testament, Spilly, to how good his off-speed pitches are and his command of them that you see so many tardy off-barrel swings on 88, 89 mile-an-hour fastball.
It's amazing. I mean, that's the power of first pitch strikes. It's the power of location. It's the power of going horizontal on a hitter. You can move it both sides of the plate. You can go north and south. I'm sure it's like a video game for A.J. Ellis. You call whatever you want in any count.
And immediately, just as he was with Arenado, excuse me, he is ahead of Parra, 0-2.
It's rare to see a Japanese pitcher shake. So I'm curious to see what Maeda wants to throw in this situation.
Is it a cultural thing? No, or is it?
It's not a cultural thing. That's just how they play. I guess it would be. It's just they trust the catcher. The catcher gives a sign and they say yes, because they trust the catcher. And it's not that he doesn't trust AJ. He must have a pitch that he has in mind that he wants to throw.
1-2. I asked AJ because, you know, Maeda does not speak very much English, but he said he speaks pitching in baseball well. And to a player, I mean, that's all that's important, especially to a catcher as he communicates with a pitcher. Maeda has a full-time interpreter with him. One-two, and a little comeback where he's going to go home with it, and that ends the inning and the threat. Well, the Rockies did not have a hit entering the sixth. They produced 3 straight singles, but cannot score. 4-0 Dodgers. It's our Kubota pitching performance. Well, the work of Kenta Maeda outstanding tonight. He went 5 1/3 in no-hit baseball before DJ LeMahieu broke it up. 3 straight singles. The Rockies had something going last inning, and he got Arenado to pop out and Parra to hit a comebacker. Maeda came in with an 0.47 ERA, and he's got 6 shutout innings in the book right now. Ryan Rayburn will lead things off. A couple of strikeouts, one looking tonight for Ryan. And he swings and misses at a breaking ball. Just a little bit more on the Rockies scouting department. They do have a full-time international scout in Australia, Phil Allen. Walt looking on. Here's the 0-1. It's the lifeblood of an organization. You got guys in the States that put literally hundreds of thousands of miles on vehicles going to see young players. Some at the high school level, some at the junior college level, some at obviously the college level, the four-year college level. There's so many great stories of going to see player X and coming up with player Y who nobody knew about. Say, I like this guy. How many times you heard scouts say that? Say, who's that guy playing short? Who's that guy in right field? I like him.
Exactly. Well, a lot of times you have somebody that's a prospect and somebody else pops up on the same team.
Maeda strikes out Rayburn for the third time tonight. 8 strikeouts for Kenta Maeda.
Fans, suites are still available for the Yankees series June 4th and 15th, June 14th and 15th. Call 303 Rockies to reserve your suite today. Dave's coming to get him.
Yep. And Dave Roberts has been pretty consistent. He did it with Ross Stripling earlier in the year when he had the no-hitter. Now Maeda doesn't have a no-hitter, but 1 out into the 7th inning with Ben Paulson. Tony Walters coming up. He wants a left-hander. 4-0 Dodgers.
You're 100% right. Second time through, let's see how you do. But even the third at bat for the guys, somebody just fell onto the field trying to get a foul ball. He's gonna make the blooper reel all over baseball. Reaching for the baseball. Oh, you silly goose.